into your eyes, I see the sunrise. The light behind your face helps me realize. We sleep and sometimes love until the moon shines. Maybe the next time I'll be yours and maybe you'll be mine. I don't know if it's even in your mind at all. It could be me at this moment in time. Is it in your mind at all? It could be me. It should be me. Forever, forever. Wandering through life, will love come home to you? And the love you want forever, will they be true to you? We sleep and sometimes love until the moon shines. Maybe the next time I'll be yours and maybe you'll be mine. I don't know if it's even in your mind at all. It could be me that's ingrained in your mind. Love's indescribable. It could be me. It should be me. I don't know if it's even in your mind at all. It could be me at this moment in time. Is it in your mind at all? It could be me. It should be me. Forever, forever. I don't know if it's even in your mind at all. It could be me. It should be me. Forever, 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 Thank you. Watching love drifting away, I feel like I'm someone else. The hurting is rough, long are the days, and you have hurt me enough. Scared to be loved, you know that you wait. Your youth has made you too tough. You're hurting for love in so many ways.
Well, it feels like my first, because it's the first time we've ever made an independent record, and we recorded it very similar to the first 3 albums. So in a way, it's like a new beginning for me. The last album we made like this was A New Flame in 1987, but we made it in a room with the musicians, and yeah, I'm very happy to do it that way. Well, about 2 years before I finished my recording contracts, I'd spoken to my management about the idea of where we wanted to go. That when we're out of contract, do we sign to another major label, or do we decide to create our own little thing? And I was very much into the idea of creating my own little thing, and that's what we did. You know, it's if you have success, it's so rewarding. You know, you feel like you've really achieved something. Well, it was my first concert in 3 years, and I was relieved. It went well.
Have you been nervous?
I wasn't really nervous. I was just wondering if what would happen to my voice. You know, would I have problems with it, or you know. Because having not sung in 3 years, you don't really know what's happened to your voice, but it's fine. It's fine, I had no problems at all. Wow, it was very nice for a guy being surrounded by these beautiful women. They're really stunning. And Brazil's a beautiful place. A lot of we were in this lovely house around like a rainforest. And so there's a lot of green and just these beautiful girls dancing around, and it's very nice. The video is about me in a room full of beautiful girls, and I don't see them. I can't see them because I'm busy thinking about the girl I really love. And so even though all these beautiful girls are around, I'm just like, I can't see anything. I don't see them. And then there's another girl who keeps looking at me, who's supposed to be my love, you know, but I don't see her. She's hidden, you know. It's very it's not the greatest script in the world, but it works, you know?
But you enjoyed that shooting, didn't you?
I enjoyed it very much, yeah, very much.
I bet you did.
I like communicating the music with people. I like that it's shared. I think I get more of a kick out of that than anything, really. The idea that somebody's playing this somewhere, or they've fallen in love to a record, or they got married to a record, or they had a baby and that song was playing. You know, that kind of thing is really rewarding. Well, I called the album Home because I recorded 8 of the 11 songs in my house, in my home. So it's a pretty good reason to call it home, you know. Yeah, my home. I have a place just outside London, in the country, and the studio was there before, and I have a big kind of what I call the sports room, which is full of like football shirts and pool table and video games and all that kind of thing. And we moved everything back, and we set up all the instruments in this room, the drums, and we used all these screens. So it was very similar to making an album like in the 60s or the 70s, where we rehearsed the band, and it's just a great way of making music, you know, because you can do the remix stuff later. You know, it doesn't mean to say everything you do has to be just old-fashioned in this way, but you have the option then, you know. And the great thing is that when the band play live, that's exactly how we sound on the record, because that's how it was recorded, virtually live. And so, you know, last night at the show, I think people were they were quite shocked that it just sounded, you know, almost exactly like the record, because it was so simple.
So would you say Simply Red is like a typical live band?
I'd say we are, yeah. We've always been very, very... our reputation as a live band in Germany has always been very strong. We've had a great live following there for years, and I'm really looking forward to going back to do concerts, because this is a strong album. I think people, when they hear it, realise the more you hear it, the better it gets, you know. And so by the time we get there, I'm hoping a lot of the fans will have the album and will know it very well. It was, you know, it's one of those moments where you regret, because the manager, Sir Alec Ferguson, who's a friend of mine, had got a hold of a ticket for me just behind the dugout, you know, and he told me, I've got this great seat for you, and I couldn't find a hotel. I couldn't get a room to stay in Barcelona because I left it very late. I didn't know if I could make it, you know, and my travel agent and everybody just couldn't find me a room. And so, I mean, I could have gone and slept on the beach maybe, but I decided instead to have a party in my house. And in the beginning, this party was a very sad party because it looked like you guys were going to win, you know. And then it all just changed like a moment of magic. And I really can't remember that date so well because I was so damn drunk. Well, I love my football, but it's very important to understand that I love the game, you know. I mean, one of the great footballing heroes of all time for me is Franz Beckenbauer, who I think is like the god of football. This guy has done everything. He wins the World Cup as a player, then he wins it as a manager, and then he wins the Champions League as a manager. I mean, he's done everything. How could you do any more than this guy? And I just really love football, you know, the game, the sport. Obviously my team is Manchester United, but if, for example, if Manchester City are playing Arsenal, I'm supporting Manchester City. You know, they're my second team, no doubt. You know, some people are not this way, I'm this way. I support Manchester City when Manchester United are not playing because I'm from Manchester, you know. And some people in Manchester City, they hate Manchester United, but I think they're stupid, because it's from our city. We should be proud of both of them, you know. So I love good football, and if I see good football played, I really appreciate it, you know.
Well, you saw a lot of good football playing for Manchester United in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
What do you think, who's going to win the Champions League this year?
Oh boy. I mean, as a fan, I'm going to say I'm really hoping, especially because it's in Old Trafford, that it's a Manchester United Real Madrid final. But if you look at the team of Real Madrid, what's in the squad is just, I mean, it's just unbelievable what they have in their squad. You know, Zidane, Figo, Roberto Carlos is just too much. You know,
I forgot Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, I know, I forgot Ronaldo. It's like a World Cup winning team. I can't see how they are not going to be in the final, you know. So if we can be there, would be amazing. But I have to say, in my heart, I would say Manchester United. In the logic in my head, I would say Real Madrid are going to be a very difficult team to beat.
A lot? Or?
I try to, you know. I've got my work, you know, and they keep my management keep changing the dates so I can't go. I was supposed to go to the Manchester United Juventus game, and I can't go because my management have booked me to do a TV show in Italy, so I have to watch it over there.
Or maybe you should change your management.
No, they're doing a good job. I have to take care, you know. I wouldn't be doing this with you if not for them.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I've had a love affair with Italy since about 1987.
How come?
I don't know. It's a really strange. I think many German people have a love for Italy too. I mean, when I think all the time when I'm driving around in the summer, I'm always seeing these German cars heading south. You know, from about May, June, all these cars heading towards Tuscany and the south, and so I think Germans understand the same love for Italy. Well, yeah, it's going to be very difficult to find. I can tell you now, because we're only making 5,000 bottles, and it's not really like a commercial industrial venture. It's it just comes from a story of a very good friend of mine, and we decided to. His father passed away, and we decided to make this wine as a sort of dedication to his father. And but there's only 5,000, and it's going to be very hard to for the whole world. That's not a lot of wine, you know. And I think we're going to keep a lot of it and drink it ourselves. Well, I gotta say, I like your Weiss beer. I think this beer is so good, and I even have it's a tradition of mine that every time I leave Germany, after having gone through this horrible security at the airports, I always have a Wurst and a Weiss beer before I get on the plane. It's my German tradition, you know, with some Senf and Brot. It's great. I'm involved in a restaurant chain called Man Ray,
Okay.
and we have I do that with Sean Penn and Johnny Depp and a couple of other people. Malkovich is involved in it, and we have that in Paris, one in Paris and one in New York, and we're hoping to open one in Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas very soon. Yeah, we have a mutual friend who brought us all together, and we're sort of like doing it for him, really.
Oh, what?
I tell you what's very interesting about Simply Red is that we've never been put into a category of this. I've never really seen us being associated with the 80s. Almost never. You know, I don't think people think of us as an 80s band or a 90s band. I mean, we've been making music through the 80s and the 90s. I've had more commercial success in the 90s than I've had in the 80s. And here we are now in the third decade, you know, hopefully, please, if you help me, having a little success with this one, you know. And when I see these compilation albums and people talking about the 80s, they talk about bands like Duran Duran and Spandau Ballet and this kind of thing, but I never see us kind of in there. Maybe I'm wrong, but... And this kind of music, it doesn't go out of date so easily. If you think about because I realize that all my favorite music has all been made in a room. Like all the Beatles, Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, Marvin Gaye, Miles Davis, Aretha Franklin, Otis Redding, Al Green, you name all these names. They all recorded the band in a room in a very simple way. And I think when you do it in that way, it becomes kind of timeless. Like it doesn't matter what decade it's in because it's just so real, you know. And that's what we're trying to do. And the first 3 albums we did, which are probably our most artistically successful, were made in that way. Especially New Flame and Picture Book, the first and the third. And I don't and Stars as well. I think it still sounds quite modern now, you know. So maybe it's because we didn't really look very 80s, you know. Although I must say, I see the videos now and I'm like, oh my God, what a haircut. Where did I get that haircut from, you know? Sometimes it's very funny. I think it's television entertainment is what it is, you know. No, it's nothing to do with what I do. It's a completely different thing. So it's just TV entertainment.
And do you like those shows?
I've never seen any. I don't watch that kind of TV really. I'm more like a kind of like a Discovery Channel guy, you know. Like I like to see like documentaries and science programs, nature programs, movies. I don't really watch like that type of TV, you know, Big Brother and all that stuff. It's not. I just don't watch it. It's no problem. I just don't watch it. Yeah.
You think it's good or bad, or you don't care?
I don't care. That's good. Yeah. I don't care either way. You know, it's as I say, it's family entertainment for Saturday nights, as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's. I wish them luck.
With your music?
Very much so, yeah, still do.
So what's that?
Yeah, John Lennon, Keith Richards, Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, Miles Davis, especially Miles Davis, James Brown, his music, he's crazy, but the music's okay. You know, I love James Brown's music. So those guys, really. I actually enjoy playing the bigger places because I can move around more. There's more oxygen to breathe, so I get more in my lungs. It's easier to sing. And I like big crowds, not like stadiums, but I like about, you know, between 9,000. It's when you hear them all singing and being involved, it's great. It's really great, you know. And the small ones are nice, they're very intimate and people feel exclusive, but I prefer the bigger shows myself.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you. I must go now to my show. Okay, thank you.
So first let's talk about Home, and it's the summer of 2003, and this is the first record on your label, simplyred.com. Can you recall what some of the things that prompted you at that time to do that, to make that move? Because it was pretty big news. It was all over the newspapers and all over the music industry papers.
Well, yeah, contrary to media reports, I wasn't dropped by Warner Brothers. We'd actually decided that we were not going to carry on in 1998. And the reason for that was that I felt that I should have ownership of my own masters, as I'd actually paid for them. And we also were very concerned about how little the major record companies were embracing the internet and the potential of where that was going regarding internet piracy and how you protect your work and that whole kind of thing. They had no departments for it, and we just came to the conclusion that we were going to have to do it ourselves to sort of protect our own work and own my own work. And so that's why we slowly started to build up the notion of going ahead independently. I didn't particularly want to do it, but I felt that I didn't really have any choice.
Turned out though to be a big success, and so, you know, vindicated as a decision.
Well, it was great fun doing it as well, because at that point, the last album that I made with Warner's, Love in the Russian Winter, we used quite a lot of machinery, and it was quite a revelation. When we came in to do rehearsals, we tried to play the songs in a rehearsal room, and they didn't work because they were it was all drum machines and samples and things. And I just vowed to myself, the next album you make, you're going to go in a room with a bunch of musicians and you're going to play the songs and you're going to work them out as a band, the way we made our very first recordings. And it worked out, because it meant that what we would put down onto the tape for the home album could be very easily translated onto a live stage.
Which is important for you.
Very important,
big
yeah.
part of your life.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the title song. Very positive, romantic lyric.
Yeah. Well, I feel I've been through so much in my life and career. A very, let's say, colourful experience. And I'd never really had a home, in a sense. You know, I'd never really had a conventional upbringing. I had no mother, much documented, and you know, I'd managed to win back my wife, and we'd kind of started living together, and we were trying to have a baby and stuff, and it just all was coming together in this sense of home, this sense of something that I felt that I never had, and a yearning for it. And I think that's what the song is sort of expressing, that for all the fame, for everything that you have, you want some other kind of meaning in your life, something that just strikes a chord within you that has a greater depth somehow than what I felt that I had. And it was really a yearning. That's what I think the song's expressing.
Do you believe in life? Are you somebody who believes that if you think it, you can make it happen? Is that a kind of that really positive thinking thing always worked for you?
I don't really theorise it in that way. I just love life. I think this is it. It's happening right now, and I live. Indeed, at that time lived most of my life. Most of my reason for living was actually creating music. It still is a major driving force of what I get up in the morning to do. And now the only other additions to that really are my wife and child, and those three things are still absolutely what drive me. There's nothing else that really interests me. I have little hobbies, you know, love drinking wine and things, but the real heart of what I do is about music and my family, and that's it really.
On this record, Sunrise was a very successful hit. How was it written? Did you start with the Hall & Oates sample, or did you start with the song?
The Hall & Oates sample came last. I had the song, and we just couldn't find an appropriate version. My close confidant and friend Andy Wright, who co-produces and works with me, has worked with me since Fairground, since 1995. I gave him the song, and we just didn't feel it was actually almost like a ballad. And then Andy just came with this beat and then this sample, and I said, where's that from? I've heard that before. Where's that? And you know, just within the first 30 seconds of him playing what he got me, I said, I've heard those drums before. Where's? And then in the middle, of course, it comes in with the easy, ready, willing, and then it's the Hall & Oates thing. I said, aren't we going to get in trouble? I was still a bit naive about samples. I said, we're not going to get in trouble with that. I said, no, you have to negotiate with them and stuff. And I said, but won't people think that we're kind of ripping them off? And I said, well, it's not the song, is it? It's only like a part of the song. And when you think that so many hip-hop artists use samples, and especially African Americans use these samples all the time still, that it was nothing really new at all, in fact.
Did make a major contribution to how people received it, though, didn't it?
Well, you know, it made me very proud to think that there's not many artists that can say that they've had commercial success within 3 generations, from the 80s, 90s, 2000s. And that was a big thrill, that Home was so successful worldwide, to just think and sit back and go, gee, you know, that's a real achievement that we managed to pull that off.
This album has some really interesting and well-chosen covers. How do you select a song for a cover? Does it have to be a personal favourite?
Well, I'll give you an example. I was salmon fishing in Iceland, and I was just heading back to the airport in this SUV, and the radio was on, and Positively 4th Street came on the radio, and we were just sat there with this surreal landscape, driving through the kind of heartland of volcanic Iceland, and I'm just suddenly listening to these lyrics, and you know, I've heard the song many times before, but it just got me at that moment, and I just said, I got to sing this song, I got to do this.
It's such a powerful combination of lyric and melody, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, that's Bob Dylan really, isn't it? And pretty much almost everything he's ever done.
Rewarding to sing a song like that?
Well, it was challenging to arrange it, actually, to make it to fit within the Simply Red lineup. You know, bringing the horns in the midsection and that kind of thing was it was just great pleasure. You know, a great honour to sing, pay tribute. Because the truth is, whenever you do a cover, at least from my point of view, it's a tribute. Every time you sing somebody else's song, you're paying tribute to the writer, to the original artist, and I've always felt that way.
And Dennis Brown's great song, Money in My Pocket, you and I will remember the original from when we were kids.
Yeah.
And this is a very different treatment.
Well, this was Andy Wright doing his thing. You know, I like to set Andy free sometimes and just say, look, go off and come up with something, and he comes up with some crazy stuff, and you know, and that was one that I thought really worked, because there isn't really any point in just copying another version, is there? Because you've already got that version. So you want to kind of put a twist on it that sort of at least partly makes it your own. And I've always been a huge admirer of Dennis Brown, especially his great singing, beautiful singing. And it was just, in fact, I recorded another Dennis Brown, Ghetto Girl, on the Blue album in 1998. So it's like a continuation of that, really.
And with the other big cover on this record, you did once again what you did when you covered Every Time We Say Goodbye, and that is prove to people that there's no song that's out of your range, because You Make Me Feel Brand New is not an easy song to sing.
Well,
you do take them on, don't you?
Initially, when I started rehearsing that track in Los Angeles, that was recorded in Los Angeles with an absolutely fantastic lineup. James Gadsden on drums, and you know, what a presence, and my mate Joe Sample on piano. Initially, Stuart Levine had me singing a semitone higher than that. So we're in rehearsals in the studio, and I'm sort of just about hitting the note. And I said, Stu, we got to take it down, man. We just can't keep it up there. I'm going to have to go around the world and sing this song on a stage. And even after we've taken it down a semitone, I can't sing it every night live. Especially if I've had a few shandies the night before, or I've had a late night, I literally can't sing it. So I have to very hit and miss when I choose to perform that song.
So you turn to the band and say, we'll do this when you feel like you can?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a musicologist, but I think is it like 3.5 octaves or something like that? And I remember as a kid watching the Stylistics do it, and there was 3 guys who sang it. So I'm sort of singing 3 vocal parts. Yeah, fantastic.
And this home box set has some really interesting extra bits, including radio edits and remixes, but it also has a live at Ronnie Scott's performances of the songs on the album. Ronnie Scott's, of course, is a wonderful venue. It's a classic venue. What memories does it bring back as a place for you, as not just a performer, musician, songwriter, but as a music fan?
Well, I've had some great nights there. Early on in my career, I was championed by a great man who was the co-founder of Atlantic Records, Nesuri Ertegun. And, you know, he's produced work by John Coltrane and Charlie Mingus, and he and I became really close friends, actually. And whenever he was in London, we'd go out together for dinner. And one night, Nes said, I hear Nina Simone is on at the Ronnie Scott, so why don't we go down and see Nina Simone tonight? And I said, absolutely, let's go down there. And so that's happened countless times. I saw Gil Scott-Heron there. It had its own history for me over the years, you know. And so my manager suggested that we do a bit of a kind of a launch, effectively, for the press and selected guests, and perform some of the songs from the home album, and that's effectively what that is.
It's a great venue, and it was a great start to the noughties or the 2000s. This record, much more to talk about. Thanks very much.